Most software engineers are about to get completely blindsided by AI. And it's not because they can't use it, but it's all because they think that it's not even a threat. More specifically, 64% of developers worldwide say that they don't see AI as a threat to their job. So the real risk here isn't even AI, it's complacency. And this is a massive, potentially career-ending mistake for software engineers all across the world. So in this video, I'm going to give you the developer's guide to the AI bubble, why AI is much more revolutionary than you might think, and last but not least, why dismissing AI as just hype or as a bubble is the biggest mistake that you can make. For those of you who are new, welcome. I'm Bago. I started off as a junior developer, just like many of you, and got promoted to an engineering manager in the Fortune 500 in just 3 years. I then left to co-found a 7-figure B2B AI consulting firm shortly after ChatGPT was announced on November 30th, 2022. And today, I also run Code2CEO, where I help software engineers, just like you, transition from employees to highly paid, high leverage founders. So let's get straight into it. When you take a look around, it's pretty easy to see why everybody is calling this an AI bubble. All the YouTube videos, all the newsletters, everybody's talking about it. Because valuations are truly insane. I mean, OpenAI is reportedly aiming for $1 trillion IPO. You have tech giants that are spending over $350 billion on AI-related stuff. But the real fundamental issue is that analysts are warning that AI firms are just propping each other up. I'm sure some of you guys have even seen it. NVIDIA invests $100 billion into OpenAI, and OpenAI agrees to spend billions on NVIDIA's chips. It's basically a financial Ouroboros, so the snake eating itself, the same money going in circles, inflating the market as a whole. And even Jeff Bezos called it an industrial bubble. And Michael Burry even is betting actively against it. So is this all really just an AI bubble? And it's not. And here's where my perspective as a software engineer comes into play, because it differs vastly from the stock analysts that you see online. What we need to do, especially as software engineers, is we need to separate the financial hype from the technological progress. And this all feels just like the late 90s dot-com boom. In 2000s, the bubble burst, billions vanished, and countless startups went completely bankrupt. But that financial crash didn't necessarily mean that the internet was a fraud. I mean, all of us are literally using it. You're watching this on the internet. And Amazon is a prime example of this. Amazon stock crashed over 90%. But the survivors, like Amazon, Google, and a few others, proved that the World Wide Web was revolutionary and came to dominate the world, as we can see now, with trillion-dollar valuations. So the pattern was clear. It was hype at first, and then there was a large crash, and then the real sustained growth began. So what was the lesson in all of this? Well, the people who dismissed the tech paid the price. In 1995, a Newsweek column famously said, "No online database will replace your daily newspaper." And go and behold, by 2021, over 2,200 print newspapers had shut down by then. So dismissing a genuine technological wave because you're so focused on the bubble is how you are going to get wiped out as a software engineer, especially considering more than half of you don't even use AI agents yet to code. And that brings me to the next invisible trap that's literally catching most software engineers that I see. So the tech itself is real. AI can code, it can draft articles, it can generate photorealistic images, videos, and a lot of other things. In fact, 84% of developers are already using or plan to use AI tools, at least in the part of their workflow. And most of them actually even report increased productivity based on these AI tools. But here's the funny paradox. Most developers are still completely complacent about the risk. Because as I said, 64% don't see AI as a threat to their job. So why is this the case? Because a lot of you're an expert at what you do. You know that AI hallucinates. You know that there's a skill when it comes to AI, such as prompt engineering. You know it can write bugs. You know that it lacks true understanding. And a lot of you just view it as an infinite loop of if statements. So you see it as a helpful tool, but not a direct replacement of you. That's why you feel secure. But this is the same exact mistake that those newspaper execs made back in the day in early 2000. That confidence is the real threat. You are severely underestimating how fast AI is evolving. Today's AI might not replace a senior developer, sure, but it can drastically reduce the need for a large team of, say, junior devs doing coding work. So the bar for routine coding is rising every single day. I mean, it wasn't too long ago that ChatGPT came out. Imagine another 5 years from now where it will be. So this isn't about AI replacing directly you. It's about a developer who skillfully uses AI replacing a developer who does not use AI. So this is the new form of leverage. Until the time comes when AI can replace all of us, this is what we have to fight with. People know companies that don't adopt AI will fall behind. And engineers who refuse to use these AI tools because it's all hype will find themselves outpaced by peers who build features not twice as fast, but 10 times, if not 100 times as fast. So not fearing AI shouldn't mean you ignore AI. Once again, complacency is the biggest real risk here. And if any of this is sort of hitting home and you're realizing, yeah, I am kind of stuck in that old mentality, in that old way of thinking, then this is your call to action. At Code to CEO, I help software engineers just like you break out of the 9-to-5 cycle and actually build a business that is profitable and scalable using new forms of leverage. So we're not just talking about being a better coder, we're talking about building a high trust, high leverage work that actually compounds year over year and it's yours and you own it. So if you're interested, go to codetoceo.com, link in the description below, and book a free strategy call with me directly. I'll map out your current skills, pinpoint your hidden leverage in this new AI-driven market, and give you a custom game plan on how you can navigate this entire world as of right now. Now, to be clear, I do want to point out that this path isn't all magic. There are real challenges to AI. The tech does have limitations as of right now. AI does hallucinate, it does lack true understanding, and it can suggest insecure code sometimes. And the path to profitability is even, you can say, unproven somewhat, because OpenAI, despite its $12 billion in revenue, is reportedly losing money on $20 a month subscriptions due to massive operating costs. Now, I don't know how true this is because, of course, it's a company. Companies are made by people and people are known to lie. But what I do know is that a shakeout is coming. But a bursting financial bubble doesn't necessarily mean that the technology is dead. So understand this specifically. Most engineers will stay stuck because they will play the game that they were taught from the very beginning. Keep in mind, all this AI stuff pretty much is very new. Only the last 3 years it came out. Most engineers will focus on a technical skill, but in this new era, once again, that game is broken. The winners will not be the ones who code, but rather they will be the ones who are the most strategic. They won't dismiss AI because it's hype, because of a bubble. Rather, they will learn to work with AI and they will learn to leverage it. They will be the ones who skillfully ride this wave up, right? Replace their coding skills with AI agentic work and lean on soft skills such as some communication skills, marketing, and sales to actually position themselves comfortably in the new market to come. And to further add on to all of these points that we're talking about AI, you have Abu Dhabi trying to become the first AI-led nation by 2027. You have China leading the AI war, and you have every single country in a pretty much sort of Cold War. Instead of information, it's now all about AI. If AI truly was just this overhyped thing, you wouldn't have countries going to literal war with one another over AI, trying to poach talent from different countries, UAE spending trillions of dollars trying to attract investments in the form of AI developers to go to Abu Dhabi, to go to Dubai, and actually become AI first. So yes, the tech right now, it might be a little goofy, it might hallucinate, but I have seen cases of people actually using them. A lot of students in Code to CEO, they have their AI agents set up where they can turn 3 months, 4 months of work to a few days even. I personally have built multiple MVPs within a week, whereas before it would have probably taken me a few months at the bare minimum. And once again, the reason why this is all so shocking is because this isn't just a 2x, 3x, or a 5x thing. It is a literal 100x, 1000x multiplier. People are not comprehending it because it all just happened so fast. Once again, November 30th, 2022 is when we first got the taste of what AI really was. The only people who even knew about AI back then were those who were heavily into it. And it's a very small subset of niche software engineers and other individuals who were kind of aware of it before 2022. Most people sort of thought about it kind of like how nowadays people approach quant. Right? It's sort of like this sci-fi type of thing. Sure, it exists in reality, but most people aren't too vetted into it, too necessarily interested into it. Most of these things stay behind a niche tech scene. You would never expect something like this to break out into the mainstream just like AI did. So all the advancements that are happening with AI, and individuals having a hard time keeping up. If more than half of you are not using AI agents to code, imagine the non-technical people. They are so far removed from this tech world that it's not even funny to think about what their position is in all of this that's taking place. So here is essentially a little bit of a concluding thing for everybody watching this. Yes, the AI bubble is real. Some of the firms might be overrepresented, especially with Nvidia taking up literally almost, 10th or 20th, right? I think it's a 10th of the entire stock market, $4 trillion valuation. So yes, it is overrepresented. However, that does not mean that the tech is faulty or whatever the case. There will come a day, I promise you, where all of these crazy valuations you're seeing, where it will far surpass all of these numbers. I don't know if it's going to be 5 years from now, I don't know if it's going to be 10 years from now, but you do have to be ready. The rate at which AI is advancing, let alone the regular people, but even the software developers themselves are having a hard time keeping up. This is why it is critical for all you software engineers who are watching this right now to actually take this seriously. The second ChatGPT came out, I knew the world was going to change. So I decided to literally quit my job and focus all my efforts into this. And I knew that AI will be what it is now today and what it will be in like 5 to 10 years from now. I spent the last 3 years working with it every single day. I've applied it in a business setting, I've applied it in my own personal life setting, I've applied it to every single aspect of my life. I have seen what kind of a person I am with AI and without AI. With AI, it feels like there are literally hundreds of me. I am so much more productive, and I cannot imagine me pumping out the level of work and the efficiency and the quality without AI. It would simply be impossible. And most people are not even aware of this yet, let alone from the perspective of just using ChatGPT in your daily life. I mean from, coding in business or whatever. In my own firm where we help other businesses, I see just how many problems there are in all aspects of the world, in all industries, that AI can solve. And most people are trying to push for this adaptation. But once again, people are either skeptical or they believe this is just hype. But I guarantee you, in the near future, 5 years, 10 years, companies who do not use AI will not be able to compete, because this isn't just a 2x, 5x, 10x difference. This is a 100 to 1000x difference when it comes to the leverage that you unlock with AI. So if you are a developer, I urge you, focus less on your technical skills, rely more on the AI, learn how to leverage it to surpass your technical ability, and invest more of your time into soft skills such as communication, sales, and marketing, and negotiation, and these skills, more business-oriented skills. And last but not least, probably the most fundamental lesson in all of this is to be able to connect the technical to the non-technical. With the way that AI is advancing and technology is moving forward, you are going to have a more growing of a gap between the technical people and the non-technical people. And that gap is only going to get worse. Because once again, you have a significant portion of the population, and I don't think many software engineers really understand how big that portion is, that are not even able to comprehend the most elementary technical advancements that are happening. And you can't necessarily blame them. They didn't have a CS degree, they didn't go into this. And frankly, for their day-to-day life, it doesn't make much difference. At least that's what they think. And I want to leave the video off there because I know I talked a lot, but if you enjoyed this video at all, highly recommend you drop down your comments. Let me know what you think. Do you think is it a bubble? Do you think it's all hype, or do you think there is some truth to what I'm saying over here? Without further ado, thank you so much for watching, and as always, have a good one.